First of all of the fog we have some semi-transparent zombies. These are ghost zombies which are exclusive to fog. They can be attacked by plants until they start eating something, which will expose them, so we need walnuts to hold them off. As for sea shrooms, they have the same ability as pop shrooms and the same cooldown, nothing special. And now, here comes the first flag. The Jack-in-the-Box zombies move 16 times faster and explode every second. On top of that, their timer to explode, I mean the self-destructive kind of exploding, is increased by 5 seconds. But this isn't the main threat. We can take out the Jacks on their own just fine, but they drop their box on that, which can be picked up by other zombies. The zombie that picks up the box will move 2 times faster, keep exploding just like the original, and drop the box on that as well. Combined with the ability of ghost zombies, you can see the issue here. They can only be damaged while eating, but they just destroy everything nearby. So the solution is Hypnoshroom. The hypnotized zombies are immune to explosions in this mode, so they're perfect for this job. They also pick up the boxes, which causes an explosion that kills all zombies around, including hypnotized ones, and destroys the box. But this defense wasn't enough, so I added Snoopy, which gives a big advantage for the flanked zombies. I unfortunately couldn't make use of Sea Shroom here. I tried my best but simply couldn't make it any useful. Sorry Sea Shroom. But anyway, with this setup, the hypnotized zombies actually managed to win us this level here. Also, if you didn't notice, the flag zombie got buffed to make an ice trail. I think it's pretty cool. Now we have football zombies, and yes, they can carry the box as well. Fortunately, Plantain got a big glow up. First of all, they can expose ghost zombies in their range, which makes the previous combo a lot less threatening. And they also flash all zombies on that, damaging and stunning them for 3 seconds. This can cancel football charges just like Ice Shroom, but we need more damage to deal with footballs, so I use Godding P here. And the splash damage from Touhou could even deal with Jax and everyone else, which seemed brilliant, so I was sure this was the winning setup. I tried this for a little longer than I'd like to admit, but couldn't make it as footballs eventually overwhelmed the Touhous and we don't have enough planters. So I thought, what if I added Snoopy, which would slow down the wave so I could stack upon planters to stun every way, which actually worked, and I won on my first attempt with this stat. Now we have to deal with these balloon zombies with sunglasses. We also unlock a buffed cactus. Now the spikes can bypass zombie helmets and directly damage their body. This makes them a really strong counter against buckets, as they can kill them without explosions. And here comes the balloon zombies. The balloon zombies charge into the llama in extreme speed, carrying the zombie with the most health on the lane along with them. They drag the zombies all the way to the second column, so we don't have much to defend these. Also, the sunglasses not only make balloons cooler, these are fully immune to the plankton flash. Thankfully, the cactus spikes pierce through the balloons, allowing us to counter an infinite amount. Since all we need is one column of cacti, I put toenails on the second column to stall the zombies. This allowed me to control the balloon zombies and all the zombies stayed right there, and I won the level. For this level we have a really threatening combination of zombies. There are bucketheads, which are also ghost zombies. Chompers aren't going to help much here, but we have cactus, which is the ultimate counter to the bucketheads, ghost or not. And the dolphins can be carried by the balloons to bypass the toenuts. But we have these buffed blowers, which, along with the vanilla effect of getting rid of balloons, pushes zombies back. I know, it's very original and no other mod ever did this before. At least it doesn't have a chill effect. The start here is to use blowers on each wave to counter the balloons, but the blower cooldown is increased to 20 seconds, slightly below the 25 second waves, so we should be fine. That is, unless we trigger the 50% rule and spam the next wave early. For those who don't know, 50% rule is a mechanic in PvZ that spams the next wave early if you reduce the collective HP of a zombie way below 50%. The problem is that the cacti are too good at their job, killing bucketheads too fast. Since bucketheads are by far the most HP here, killing them usually triggers the 50% rule, spamming balloons before the blow will cool down. I tried this setup a few times, but each time I failed as I didn't have my blower ready when needed. So I downgraded the defense to have only one column of cacti, which reduced the total damage output and won the level. Now we have Wastebreaker. On the first one we have 2 bucketheads and 5 squashes. One buckethead takes 3 squashes to kill, so we can instantly deal with one of them. For the other one we have pea shooters. We can utilize the stun from the squashes to the maximum so the pea shooters can actually deal with the remaining buckethead. Next we have the one with the football zombie. If we can survive the football jump scare, we can survive this one just fine. And for the final one, we normally would have hype mushrooms against standstill zombies, but in this mode that would be completely impossible, so there's some extra plans. Take out the buckethead with hypnos and toenuts and we win this level. We got new plants from the shop, so we have quite a few new options. Split P now shoots 12 extra P's for every backwards shot, similar to 3-peater, and these P's even bounce back from the end of the screen. But unfortunately, all these buffs and Split P is still not free from the curse of being completely useless and being overshadowed by Gloomshroom, which now shoots 12 extra projectiles around with each attack. And as for Cattail, she has the same effect as Cactus. And here comes the Digger zombies. They spam a basic zombie from the ground every second, and once they reach the end of the lawn they face the house, immediately wasting the lawnmower if there is no plant on the last column. Split P has no chance against this zombie spam, so Gloomshroom is the only viable choice here. Even Gloomshroom gets damaged slowly throughout the level, but with good micromanagement will survive to the end. Next level we have Bucketheads, so Katya can finally shine. We also get Star Fruits. They work similar to backup dances, but start way weaker. But as you plant more Star Fruits, they all get slowly stronger. Depending on the total Star Fruit count, their attack speed and density increases, which is capped at 20 Star Fruits, and it looks like this. Since the attacks go in all directions, these can counter both the Digger zombies and Jack-in-the-Box zombies. There are also slightly more Star Fruits than 20 here, so we won't lose the max buff on losing a single Star Fruit. There are also 4 Cattails to deal with Bucketheads. The biggest threat here is that if we lose just a few Star Fruits, the DPS dips a lot, which means we lose the rest. On my second try, I switched Ice Shroom with Spike Beats to stir the Jack-in-the-Boxes a bit. This setup looks ideal, there's no way we lose now. Wait, what? How did that go past? The Digger's Vestigo lawnmowers here is a big issue, so I tried putting Touhou on the back, which left the front defenseless. So I switched back to this setup, and after playing super carefully, I got to the final wave with most of my defenses intact, which didn't last long, but we won, so that's all that matters. Next we have some unexpected quests. The pumpkins are buffed, they have extra HP, can survive 3 explosions, and protect the plants from splash damage, including explosions. And here comes the Pogo zombies. These guys can jump right on the closest plant on their row, replacing them with gravestones as they jump over them. And if there is no plant to jump on, they jump you instead. And if you block them with Touhou, they just blow up, so they wear off pretty quickly. But the biggest threat here are the Touhou guys. They have 1000 HP, almost double of a Giga Gargantuar. They are immune to stunning and knockbacks, so only way to start them is walnuts, which will be instantly deleted by the 2 walnut guys they spawn on that. Including this one zombie has a total of 19,000 HP. 2 of these guys has almost as much HP as Dr. Zombies. With no way to properly stun them for long, these guys are a massive DPS check, so we need the highest DPS option. The problem here is that the Graves block straight projectiles, but if we can hold off Pogos from destroying any plants for a while, we can win this level with this setup. Here we are in the penultimate level of Fog, and we unlock a complete Reworked magnet shroom. He gets a massive increase in cost and recharge time. Once you plant one, it will steal metal objects from up to 10 zombies in a massive range. Then these metal objects will orbit around the magnet, damaging zombies as they go. They also deal 10 times the damage to zombies with metal objects, conjuring them even further. On top of that, all these metal objects have different effects and damage bullets. The buckets have 40 damage, screen doors have 20, while football MS have 60. The pogo sticks push zombies back, pickaxe bypasses MS just like cactus, and boxes explode on contact. My start for this level is to store the early game buckets as much as possible. With spike beats, Touhou and blowers, we can hold them off for quite a while. On the back column I prepare 2 magnets with at least 7 buckets on each. I tried going for 10, but we don't usually get that many buckets before the first flag. It is important to get the magnets ready before the flag, as we only want buckets and no other objects. The idea here is that with the 10x damage boost, these can simply one-shot pogos, diggers and any zombie carrying a box. We don't want any gaps in the orbit, as that would allow pogos to get past and destroy our only defense. Then these planters on the back heal the pumpkins, as they get heavily damaged by the jack in the boxes. But the issue here is that there is no sun production, so I ran out of sun. So on my next attempt I placed a tiny sun farming setup in the pool, which was enough to prevent a shortage. From there it's just repairing pumpkins, using istas when needed, and planting magnets to take buckets so they won't damage the pumpkins. Towards the end the top lanes fell apart, but I barely won with 0 sun remaining. Now we get to the ultimate level of fog. As you know, we can't see much here, which will be a big problem, but never mind. Conveniently, this level has planting. I won't have to show a black screen for the rest of this video. Planting stuff randomly like usual didn't really work, so we need a real strategy. So I tried to copy the previous strat, but this level has balloon zombies, which will drop the zombies right on top of magnets. The magnets can't defend themselves at all, so we just lose them. Next time I modified the strat a bit and put the magnets to the third column, so they can hit the zombies dropped by the balloons. This way they can hit the diggers, but we can fix that with occasional blowers. This level goes extremely fast, as the zombies are designed that way. This means we need to micro fast as well, which is tough as there are a zombillion zombies on the screen to pay attention to. But as the magnets take the buckets, which has a massive HP value, they trigger the next wave immediately, preventing us from getting overwhelmed and ending the level quickly. Just before the final wave I lost the button magnets, but so very conveniently the buttons are immune to the plant and stun, so they triggered the mobs right before the final wave and prevented the zombies from spawning. Thanks to that, we won the final level of this episode. And these were the 4 levels of PvZ Devastation Mode. The roof levels are still under development, and I likely work on a different mode for a while, but once the new update is out, I'll make a video on it right after, so subscribe to not miss it, and see ya!